Next to me here, we have Ben from Adelaide's brand new van. At Capital Special Vehicles, we custom build each vehicle to suit the customer's requirements. We've started with the base vehicle as a Volkswagen Transporter. It's been specially ordered from the factory with certain options just to make everything work perfectly for this situation. So for Ben, this is a 3-stage build. This is stage 1. To make this work for him, we've started with a long wheelbase vehicle with our standard low floor conversion. The conversion consists of lowering the floor from what they call the A pillar, which is at the window line there, through to the C pillar, which is just here behind the rear sliding door. We've lowered the floor to make the access for the wheelchair smooth and flat through this area. We've set the flooring height to suit his needs. So we've actually put an infill into the floor, which raises it slightly from our standard low floor conversion. This future-proofs the vehicle that if in the event that he goes to an electric wheelchair, he'll have more room in the car. So we can just take that part out and the car will grow with him. But at the moment in his manual wheelchair, it'll be perfect for him to go all the way to the front of the vehicle to drive. So stage 2 of the build will be setting Ben up for driver controls and adaptations. He'll be driving from electronic devices. He'll have a power backrest that comes around behind him that supports him from the back, and a docking device that locks the wheelchair in. That'll be shown in another build video down the track. We've opted to go an underbody lift. For those who know me, not my favourite device, and it's probably a last case resort. I'd much prefer a ramp, less to go wrong, more ground clearance under the car. But in this case, Ben struggles to use the ramp or a winch, so we've gone a lift. Disadvantage with a lift is there's much more moving components in a lift. They're subject to water, dust, mud, because they're outside the vehicle. You lose ground clearance under the vehicle, but we've chosen the best lift on the market that we can see at the moment. This one's a K70. To operate the K70, we've got a few different options. One, a handheld pendant that's connected to the vehicle that's hardwired. It has the up, down, in and out buttons. Secondly, we have a remote control that the occupant in the wheelchair can use, or somebody else outside the vehicle that's not connected to the vehicle, with the same options and operating buttons as the control pendant. And then we also have a Bluetooth app that has the same thing. So you only have to take your phone with you out and about, come back, and you can operate your lift just from your phone. That's a German produced lift. And we've got a bit of a solution to really help the ground clearance issue, and to navigate around that problem, we install air suspension. And the air suspension has many advantages, not just to help with the lift, and we'll go through that next. The Volkswagen comes standard with McPherson strut front suspension and metal coil springs. This is set up from the manufacturer when the vehicle is pretty much unladen at a nice ride height, but as you put weight in the vehicle, the car will lower. So if we were to have these and a lift, and you had full of people, fuel, some luggage in the back, this lift will be too low to the ground. Minimum roadworthy requirement is 100 millimeters from the ground to the lift. Now that's a minimum, it's not optimal. So even if it is at the minimum and is roadworthy, it's not optimal. And the way this vehicle needs to be used, and the way Ben wants to use this vehicle, is he wants to be going places. So he's got to have no problems with speed humps, steep driveways, and a bit of rough terrain. So what we do is, we install air suspension. It's still a McPherson strut, but it has an airbag. The advantage with the airbag is a fair few actually. One being constant ride height. So it doesn't matter how much weight's in the vehicle, the ride height is always maintained. So this ground clearance here is always at an optimal position to suit whatever weight's in the vehicle. It also increases the ride quality. So Ben driving from electronic driver controls, the less movement in the vehicle, the less movement he'll get through his driving aids. The other advantage is that better ride quality means travelling, the fatigue on his body, he'll get further each time where he drives without getting tired and fatigued. Another advantage with this suspension, on the controller we can press off-road. So we can select an off-road position, which the vehicle will raise, and we can go up to 35 kilometers per hour in off-road, so we can go over large humps and things under the vehicle and access different places that he wouldn't be able to normally. Another advantage with this suspension is when you park next to a curb and want to access the footpath, the lift comes into the curb and you can't access the footpath or the nature strip. So with the air suspension, we can press the up button on the suspension. This will raise the vehicle so that the lift comes above the curb height and can access the footpath and then land on the footpath. Another thing we can do with the air suspension, we have an option that has self-leveling. This option was designed in Europe for the vehicles and the vans that we used for camping, so that when you're on your campsite, you press the button and the vehicle would self-level, so when you're sleeping in your bed you wouldn't roll to one side or get the blood rush to your head on one end, or have your coffee nice and flat on your bench in the van. For us, what we can do is, when you park the van on a road that has camber on it, the lift would come out into the footpath and not come out properly. We can then press that auto level feature, which will level the van and let the lift come out. We've been installing air suspension in vehicles for many, many years now. We don't use hot rod style systems. These are OEM style systems that we put into our vehicles. And yeah, these just make everything work absolutely fantastic in the vehicle. At Capital, we're all about custom builds, and for Ben, I reckon we've done it again. Big sliding drawer, heaps of storage space in there. Induction cooktop for cooking snags on the fry pan. We've even thrown in the kitchen sink. We've tried to think of everything. Even put a bench top in, or an area to prep food and eat your meal. That's sitting here. With the air suspension that's in the vehicle, we can adjust this bench to suit Ben's requirements for his to reach here. And as mentioned earlier, there was another use for the auto level suspension. We can press auto level, and that way we can get a perfect fried egg on our saucepan on our cooktop here. Oh, almost forgot. Even put in a cutlery drawer. Now this is stage 1 of the build. There's stage 2, which are the hand controls and driver adaptations that are going into the vehicle. And it'll be coming back for stage 3, where we'll put bull bar, snorkel, driving lights, solar for battery, water tanks for the sink, all sorts of other bits and pieces are going to be on stage 3 as well. I hope you've enjoyed watching what we've done for Ben. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, that way you get your notifications on our next builds that come forward. Thanks for watching.